Hey guys, Jonathan here, and today I've got the Dungeons & Dragons CMF series that LEGO is putting out in September of 2024, which LEGO also sent me early to review, but all thoughts, of course, are my own. That being said, I don't really know anything about the lore of Dungeons & Dragons, so I'm going to be reviewing this as a LEGO fan, and not really from an accuracy standpoint or things like that. Reviewed the Dungeons yeah. So I reviewed the Dungeons and Dragons Lego set earlier this year, and I said the same thing there. If you're looking for a very lore deep video on D&D, unfortunately this is not going to be it, but I can appreciate the minifigs for what they are, so we're going to look at it from that vantage point. If you're still on board, be sure to hit like and subscribe down below, and let's get into breaking down all the figures in this series. Now, the interesting thing here is several characters come with two different heads so that you could have a different gender if you wanted to use this as your actual playing piece in the game. Now, that's not true for every figure here, but it is kind of interesting that several of them do have heads you can switch out. With that being said, I might also make the argument that this is the first CMF series where you actually need multiples of the same character to have a full set. I could see if somebody else wanted to argue against that, but to me, as a completionist, I would say you do need to have two of each so that you can have both variants on display at the same time. Anyways, with that being said, I'm going to rank and review these, so I'm going to show you them in order of my least favorite all the way up to my favorite. With that being said, let's get into it starting now. Before we get too far into things, this is the box packaging that they come in, so that's what you can expect to see in stores for $4.99 when they drop on September 1st. Now, like I said, I'm not really in depth with the lore of what goes on with D&D, so I don't know every character's names. I did check out Falcon Bricks, a great website for LEGO news and all of that, and I did get some names from there, and I tried to match them up as best as possible, but I'm actually not sure the name of this character. That being said, on all of the base plates we get, there's actually some cool cobblestone printing on the side too, so you get one of these with every single figure that you get in the set. Now, with that being said, this is my least favorite figure in the line. I don't really have a particular reason, it's just not my favorite. Now, I really do like the dual-molded blue and brown boots combo here, and the printing on the front of the legs is very, very detailed, and I like that. And this is one of our many characters that actually have two heads, depending on what gender you want your character to be. So we've got this very cool pull here with the eyeball at the top that's printed. We get a new knife piece, which looks really good. And then a new hair piece, too, which looks really great with those elvish ears. And, of course, you can lift that up to see a reverse side of the head on both figures, showing a different expression. I do like the printing on the back, and I guess that's the one thing to say, is that even though these are my least favorite figures in the entire set, I still like all of them. There's not a figure here that I absolutely hate. So I guess that's a good thing, and we'll keep moving on. All right, up next we've got the Sorcerer character, and these just kind of creep me out with the devil horns, so that's why they rank so low for me. But we do get really nice dual-molded legs with black boots and purple pants, and I really like this effect that they can hold, this kind of like translucent pink piece. I could absolutely see them using that for Gambit's cards from Marvel, should we ever get a Gambit minifig. That being said, we do get some pretty nice arm printing on the figure here with a orange tail, and then of course we get opposite gender heads here. And if we lift the hair pieces up, you can see that we have alternate expressions for both, which look really good. And of course, that brand new molded red dragon piece looks really good. And I can't help but wonder if this is a baby version of the giant red dragon that we get in the actual Dungeons & Dragons set. Up next, we have the Dwarf Barbarian, and these figures are really great. I love the dual-molded arm printing there, with a really unique color for, like, the tall gloves, and then, of course, black up top, with the black mid-sized legs, and an awesome torso print on the front and the back. We do get the reverse gender heads here, of course, and I really like the hair piece here with the red hair and the bun on it. Of course, we can flip that around to show those alternate expressions for both figures with kind of angry fighting faces. And for our accessories, we get a really unique build for the axe here. It's just two pieces, as you can see, but that axe looks really, really good if I could keep it in one piece. And then, of course, both figures have a lit torch that they can carry into the battle or onto the adventure. Both really nice figures, for sure. Up next, we have the Halfling Bard, which is really cool with this kind of like pink I don't know if you would call it like a hood or a scarf, but whatever that piece is, it looks really good. Of course, getting those dual molded legs are really nice with kind of the light brown and dark brown combo. We get a golden sword as well as a brand new printed loot piece for both, as well as the really unique white hair with the elvish ears. Then, of course, if we lift that up on both, we get double expressions depending on which one you want, but their eyes are closed with their mouth open as if they're singing, which I really like. And here's what it looks like with the hair on. Yeah, just really phenomenal all around. All right, up next is the Halfling Druid. This one's really interesting with the short legs, not posable, but they are, I guess, dual molded because we can see green on the back of the legs. So that is interesting to get short legs that are dual molded, dark green on bottom, kind of light green on top. Of course, the torso print looks really great, and we also get this cloth cape that actually has a little bit of shimmer and shine to it. If we lift it up, you can see that we have a great print on the back of the torso as well, and the helmet piece is all one piece with these kind of like antlers off to the side, and of course we can lift that up to see what the heads look like with the dude having some, beard facial hair there on both sides, and I really like the winking face on either side. They both look awesome. We get a little bird that comes with it, as well as a little stand here that you can build up for their walking stick with all of the greenery and flowery stuff on top. All right, so just the way it worked out, I kind of like the figures that don't have interchangeable heads more. I just think that they could go a little deeper on the lore and personalization for each figure when it's just the one. So what we've got here is the Witch Queen. She's got a cauldron here with these purple flames, but the flames just sit in there, so as you literally just saw, it's very easy for those flames to fall out. I guess you could just put one flame at a time in if you want, but just be aware that they're very easy to lose. She's got a book here that opens up that has one of these tile pieces that looks a lot like the ones we got in the actual D&D set. Then, of course, I'll move that out of her hand so we can see all the detail. She's got the dual molded legs, just like most figures in this series do, with black on bottom and gray on top. She's got incredible arm printing that just looks phenomenal. Then she's got this nice wavy red hair, a little scar near her mouth, and then evil witch laugh going on the other side. I really like this figure, and even that witch hat that she has with her wind blowing in the air just looks really great, and I think that this is a really cool figure. Okay, this one is wild. This is the Golden Dragonborn Paladin. I really, really dig this one. How they went ahead and made the armor torso here, kind of using some old design cues from old LEGO armor, looks really good. Of course, getting that dragon shield is great, and I'm not really sure what his weapon is supposed to be. I guess some kind of like magic caster, but regardless, that gold dragon head looks awesome. I'm actually going to lift that dragon head off so that we can lift the armor piece up so that you can see what his torso looks like that gets covered up by the armor, as well as that great arm printing, basically identical on both sides. Side leg printing looking awesome. We got a potion on the back of his belt, and here is what the armor piece looks like, a little closer up. Really a cool look there. Then that slides here. The dragon head goes back on there, and he does have two golden horns that you insert into the back of the head as well during the building process. All right, here we've got the Eagleman. I'm sure he has an actual name, but I really like the dog he comes with. That dog is absolutely adorable, and I remember not too long ago when we were all trying to army build the goat from the CMF series. I want to see people army build this cute little gray dog. Anyways, for the eagle dude, he's got these giant wings. They're plastic, just like everything in LEGO is. They don't really have much bend to them, but he uses the old Demogorgon feet here with talons printed on the toes, as well as some nice leg printing up top. A really nice torso print is included, and that eagle head with the bow just seals the deal on making this a super cool regal eagle figure. Up next, we've got Red Skull's Wish.com variant. I don't know this character's name from D&D lore, but it is pretty interesting. I liked all the detail and how his eyes are sunken in with the red. That's very cool, and I also like that you can kind of see through what he's wearing, and they put a little bit of depth in the torso to make his skeleton kind of look like it's 3D there. We get this really nice red skirt piece here. Does have some printing on the back as well as the back of the torso, and we also get a two-piece cape here with the longer cape and then of course the cloak. A translucent red skull with some printing on there is nice, as well as an orange power blast to make him a formidable foe in your D&D adventures. Up next, we've got the vampire dude, and he looks like somebody I'd like to have my Ghostbusters fight against. But regardless, he's got a really cool giant sword piece. He's got a black rat with evil red eyes that looks great, a little cup here, and some awesome arm printing with like that fur at the top. Then, of course, the dual molded legs with really regal printing on the front as well. We've got some armor on this side here and some long black hair, kind of like the Gandalf hair, but of course in black, which will lift up to see his more, I don't really know what I'd call that, like a smirk, I guess. And then he's got some printing on the back of the torso that looks really good too. But I really like this vicious side where we could see his fangs out, and it makes him a really, really cool character. All right, up next and in second place, we have the Lady of Pain. Yet again, another character I'd like to see my LEGO Ghostbusters go up against. But check out this giant orange cape that's like cut and slivered. And then, of course, the printing on the back of the skirt. And we could kind of see the printing on the back of the torso there as well. Looks really good. But something that really fascinated me about this is that we just have a blank black head underneath. And the head, or rather the face, is actually printed on this squishy rubber headpiece that goes over the black piece. So it does make it look really interesting. We've got these cubes in her hands here that you build out of bricks, as well as a 2x2 round clear piece that she kind of hovers over top. And I really like this for how unique it is. And honestly, like if I were a kid still playing with my Lego and making up my own adventures, this could be a Ghostbusters villain. This could be an Avengers villain. I would love this figure growing up. I started this video off by saying I'm not the biggest D&D fan, but even I have to admit the Mind Flayer is absolutely awesome. We also get the Intellect Devourer here. Really, really cool additions to the LEGO Pantheon. Lift it up so you can see that it's actually taking up 2x2 studs, but you can just clip it onto one area there, so that's pretty interesting, but the inside is hollow, and I actually suppose that you could put this over a figure's head like that, so that's pretty cool that it's designed in that way. Then, of course, we've got the minifig itself. I really like the tentacles. I really like the arm printing and the back of the skirt printing. They just went all out for this figure, and I think that this is going to be one of the more sought-after ones just because of how much detail is here and, of course, how iconic it is in D&D lore. So with that being said, let's finish up the video and call it a day. All right, guys, let me know what you thought of this video in the comments down below. Let me know which figures you're most excited about picking up, and I'll see you guys on the next video.